I'm Yafe Cotton, a sophomore at Michele Clark, and one of the hot topics today is the coronavirus. And we're here to talk about tips and ideas that can help you during remote learning. I'm here with my colleagues introducing.
Miss Phillips, the full-time social worker here at Clark High School.
I'm Sky. I'm a junior here at Michele Clark High School.
I'm Elijah, a sophomore at Michele Clark.
So yeah, Miss Phillips, do you have any ideas and tips that you can give us for these 2 weeks that we're out of school?
Mm-hmm. So I think as we're thinking about, having some time away from the actual school building that we normally go to, I think the temptation could definitely be there to just use that time in maybe some ways that wouldn't necessarily be the most productive for, taking care of our brains and our mental health. It can be really easy to just sit ourselves on the couch for hours at a time watching TV or YouTube videos or, things just to pass the time. But, when I think about this opportunity to take some time away from the school building, and I think we can use it in ways intentionally to help take care of our mental health and our minds. And there's a thing called mindfulness that has been a really kind of a trending thing, I think, in the past couple years, which is essentially, taking time intentionally in your day to slow yourself down, to kind of orient yourself to maybe one specific activity, and just to notice. When we're practicing mindfulness, we are, being intentional about just noticing. We're working to not necessarily judge the thoughts that we're having. And mindfulness can look like a lot of different things. When we're washing the dishes, we can take some time to just be with that activity in the moment and notice what the water temperature feels like on your hands. Notice, what thoughts you might be having as you are washing the dishes and kind of letting them pass. So, I really do think that this time that we have away from school in the upcoming 2 weeks, it's a great opportunity just to kind of take some time for yourself. So, yeah.
So Sky, do you have any things that you do, like hobbies that you do outside of school?
Nah, not really.
Do you have any, Elijah?
I play the game a lot, but I feel like this time out of school, I can spend it with my family. Like, we do a lot of family work together,
Yeah.
so it'll like take our mind off the virus or whatever, and then do a lot of school work too.
Yeah. I was in Walmart yesterday with my family, and we saw a whole bunch of people, like, the game section with the family games and stuff. There was a lot of people getting family games, like preparing themselves for indoor activities and stuff like that. Yeah, we got some.
Yeah, that's good, like bonding time or whatever. So while you're outside of school, you could just basically like be like think about yourself and like how you can better yourself or how you could stay mentally stable and just be with your family members and stuff like that. So, Miss Phillips, as a social worker, like, what are ideas that you get to your like kids that you talk to?
So, I have a lot of fun ideas when we're thinking about mindfulness activities. And one of my favorite things to do is something that I used to do with some elementary students, but really anyone of any age can do this, is kind of mindfully looking out the window. And you can set a timer, you can just do it for however long you want. And essentially what you're doing is you're just picking a window to look out of. If you're able to find a window that might look out onto, a natural landscape or even, the street, there's always things coming up and passing, and it's a opportunity just to kind of sit, look, and notice. And you in this activity, you just are counting the different things that you're visually observing. in mindfulness, we are utilizing one of our different senses. So in this activity, you're utilizing your sense of sight, or you could also choose to focus on sound. So sitting somewhere and just for a little bit of time counting the different sounds. And a lot of times, these activities, we are, kind of encouraging them during times when we might be feeling a little bit anxious. This is a time right now with the coronavirus. It's kind of triggering a lot of different emotions and feelings of panic or anxiety. So this time especially, I think is really, really an important time to be intentional in engaging in these activities where it encourages us to kind of slow ourselves down and just to focus on one simple thing at a time. So looking out the window mindfully. Another thing that you can even go on YouTube and just Google mindfulness body scan, and they are guided kind of exercises where you're kind of taking your attention typically from like top to bottom on your body or from your toes to the top of your head, and you're taking moments just to notice different portions of your body. So for example, and one that I recently did with a student, who was having a really, big reaction to a stressful moment at school. We turned on this YouTube video. It was about like 8 minutes long, so it was a nice portion of time. And it just brought us from, wiggling our toes, just working to notice that, up to attention like in our thighs, feeling if there's any tension in your stomach, and kind of moving upwards.
Yeah.
So again, those are called body scans, and those are really, really helpful also in slowing down.
So like one thing I do, like I notice a lot, like when I was younger, I used to like just stare out the window or driving in a car, and then like I just start thinking about anything, and then my brain will get to flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So like you just look out the window, it just helps you think about everything and relax or whatever.
Yeah, and it can be actually really surprising, when you are actually focusing on noticing the things out your window that might go by you every day, but you never really notice because we're so busy, thinking about the next place we're going to or what we're doing. But we might even find that we're noticing really cool things that are right outside our windows that we just haven't taken the time to notice before. So it's kind of cool that way.
I think that's gonna be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing gonna be outside. Everybody gonna be inside.
Mm-hmm.
No, just look at the nature. I don't know. Look at like a squirrel. I don't know, running up a tree.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything.
And if it's difficult, that's okay, because that's your personal experience with it. And when we're practicing mindfulness, that's kind of a part of the practice that we notice. Ooh, this kind of is challenging for me, and we're practicing being okay with that. This is a new thing for me. Okay, that's cool. So notice it and be with it and go with it.
Well, I would like to thank you all for the tips and ideas that you have given us for the next 2 weeks. And I hope everyone stays safe. And that's the end of 212 Studios for today.